Within the LEGO Disney novelties from March, there are two truly surprising sets that deserve a closer analysis as they have some very interesting elements. LEGO Disney 43262 Maleficent and Cruella De Vil's dresses, and 43266 Cinderella's dress. We have a new concept here in what appears to be a new line, brick-built dresses. This may not mean much to adult fans, but for younger fans this might be different. The Maleficent and Cruella De Vil dresses set contains 524 elements and a suggested retail price of €70, equivalent to a price per element of 14.4 cents, the complete opposite of Hey Hey's piece ratio, which I reviewed a few days ago. But truth be told, there are completely different sets, style and type of elements wise. The construction is divided into 3 instruction books and 6 packs, 2 for each book, and 1 book for each dress, and 1 for the base. Starting with the characters, we have Cruella, who has the same hair that appeared on the collectibles minifigures, but everything else is new, including some sort of cape, which here serves as a coat, with a very warm lining. For Maleficent, the same happens, with all the elements being new, including a two-tone cape, but the headgear appears for the 6th time, being a piece used in all appearances of this character, both in minifigure and mini-doll versions. A special note for the animals, with the Dalmatian being the star of the set, a new impression of an existing mold in LEGO France, the same happening with the bird, Diaval. Moving on to the construction itself, within the first book we have Cruella's dress, which, if I'm not mistaken, is not based on any model that appeared in the different films. I really like the construction of the skirt, with 8 segments that fit together in a very ingenious way. We have a new modified 2x2 plate with a round frame that is very important for attaching those, but I'll talk more about it in the next set. The top makes excellent use of curved slopes and wedges, giving it the finished look of a true tailor's mannequin. I was surprised by the 2x4 tiles because they were printed and not stickers, and also, regarding the Dalmatian pattern, I hope it's artificial and that Cruella didn't get what she wanted so much. Second book, it's time for Maleficent's dress. The concept is similar, with the lower part of the skirt made up of 8 segments that fit together sequentially, here with shades of purple and small transgreen patterns. Above, the accessories that make this dress immediately associable with the character, with the huge wings and 2 elements normally used as branches, here giving it more wingspan and a more menacing look. Finally, the base. This one has several interesting elements, starting with 2 4x4 tiles with vintage prints from the original films where these 2 villains appear. The decoration of the box is very rustic, both in adornments and in other details such as the box legs. The purple tone is more associated with evil, so the decoration could be divided into 2, to associate with both, or bring elements to change it to resemble a tone more similar to Cruella's black and white colors. Finally, it opens to reveal 2 compartments where each of the characters can be placed along with the small animals. The dog can be decorated along with our likings, with the instructions supplying a couple of suggestions. And here is the finished set. Moving on to Disney 43266 Cinderella's dress, it contains 474 elements and a little price of €40, equivalent to a price per piece of 8.4 cents, much more affordable than Maleficent's and Cruella De Vil's dresses. It's almost half the price and there are only 50 elements less. The construction is divided into instruction books and 4 bags, 2 for each book, and each book 1 for the dress and the other for the base. Regarding the characters, unlike what happens in 43262, the elements of Cinderella are no longer exclusive. Although they are new in 2025, they appear in 3 sets, except for the skirt, a beautiful rugged and detailed element that only appears in 43275. The little mouse, Gus, has appeared before, but it's always a great addition. Moving on to the construction itself, with the first book we have Cinderella's dress. Taking into account the size of the previous ones, I believe I can conclude that it's not meant to represent the one in the film, otherwise it will be longer, since Maleficent's dress goes all the way to her feet, I assume. It has a double layer of skirts, and here we can clearly see the difference between the new modified plate and the old one. As you can see, the hole in the center is different, a technical instead of an axle, which allows it to rotate unlike the first version, and it's great for centering the skirts. highlight for a great detail with the printed tiles and a round tile, creating a pumpkin design. The top part of the dress is simpler with a white neckline and border with a very pretty detail on the back with a bow. Second book, the base. In my opinion, it is much more beautiful and decorated than the previous one, and it actually makes sense since, after all, we have a princess here, and especially one of the oldest and most iconic. So this more elaborate style makes sense. It opens, but instead of compartments to store the figures, there are two areas to play with, one with a sewing machine and the other with a table with tea and cups. Tea time. On the opposite side of the tile, very beautiful by the way, there is a door where the characters can be placed. Like the villain set, the instructions show several suggestions for the box cover decorations. There's a key-shaped element here that does not unlock anything, but helps us remove the tiles from the base. The funny thing is that it does not appear in the other set. And here is the finished set. In conclusion, and knowing that the LEGO Group is always looking to reach other audiences with new concepts, this could be an interesting way of doing it, and at least it doesn't lack potential. The fact it does not represent the dresses or clothing that appears in films, series, or books allows greater flexibility with other potential sets in this line. For example, Ariel, Jasmine, Rapunzel, or Sleeping Beauty, for example. Oh, and of course, Belle. And if we already know that there is always an audience for collecting this type of sets, children may also really enjoy being able to customize the dresses for their favorite princesses. And that's what, in my opinion, seems to be missing from these sets. The possibility, with extra pieces, of being able to decorate, change, and personalize these decorations. I don't usually talk much about the price, but the villain set has a very high price per piece, and that's the reason why I'll give a lower rating compared to the princess set. The construction of both sets is interesting, the box of the second is more detailed, but the dresses in the first are more original and daring. Therefore, it will depend on your tastes and possibly some sales or offers on these sets. Final score 7.5 for the villains and 8 for the princess. So, what is your opinion on this set? Are you going to buy it? What do you think about these new concepts? Does it have potential? Is it a bad idea or could it be done differently? Give your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you Lego and the Land for sending a set for review. Opinions on this are my own. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more reviews and speed builds of 2025 novelties in the upcoming days. And most importantly, play well.